Okay, the next thing we are going to discuss is the navigation. Anyway, I think I have already thrown light, so I have already shown you how to navigate through QuickBooks. But I'm still going to do that for just a review purposes, for review or for the sake of those who were not with us during the training. So what you're going to do now is navigation means how to go through stuffs in QuickBooks. So navigation is simply these are the navigation buttons. They are navigation buttons or we are command centers. What I refer to as command centers. These are the things that will allow you to perform certain transaction in QuickBooks. Okay, if you look at this place, you are seeing plus and new, plus sign and new. You just click on it, it will open up other subcategories. Now, these are navigation, like I said, navigating. Well, if you want to navigate through the customer, this is where you're going to see. You can see that the information under the customer are invoice, receive payments, estimates, credit notes, sales receipt, refunds receipt, delay credits, then delay checks, delay charge. Okay. Then we have under the vendor, we have the expense, we have the check, we have the bills, we have the pay bills, we have the purchase order, we have the supply credits, we have suppliers credit, we have the credit card credits, we have the credit card credit. Okay. Then we have the employees information. We have single time activity, single times and rate activity, like all these contract employers. We have that's where you record the activities. You have weekly time schedules and time sheets. If you want to track your weekly time sheets, this is where you're going to do that. People that work on weekly basis or people you pay on weekly basis. Then we have orders. These orders, that's where you're going to see your bank deposit informations. We have the transfers, we have the journal entry. Very, very important. You have to pay. This particular place is very important. Believe me, if you don't know the basic principles of accounting, that's wherever there is a credit entry, there must be a corresponding debit entry. It is going to be very difficult for you to understand how journal is operated. Now we have the statements, we have the pay down credits. All these are what we call navigation under the new. So whenever you want to start, why is it new? Whenever you want to start a new transaction, let's say on the customer section, or you want to create an invoice, so this is where you're going to come under the customers, you click on create invoice. It will open up the invoice section and you enter the customer's information, and from there we continue. So you can see it's loading up excise patient. So you can see that's opened up the customers in the invoice section, the invoice tab or window. Now here you select the customer's name. If you don't have it already, you can add the customer's name immediately. But we are still going to come to that invoice. So I just want to show you how it looks like that. These are what we call the navigation centers in QuickBooks. So we can see that if you click here, you have all these commands. If it is any information you're looking for under the vendors, you can see vendors are the people we buy from, customers are the people that buys from us. That is just the simple way I can define this. Then we have the business insights, get things done. What it means that this get things done is what you're seeing, the business insights, that will show you the overview of your business. Once you click on it, what do you want to see? Do you want to see a cash flow statement? The cash flow statement, because we don't have cash flow statement, will show you how much money you have in and how much money you have out. So that is why you're seeing all this. So we have the reports. This is where you generate report profit reports, the profit statement and balance sheet statement. So this is also, you can also customize this. You can see here we have account receivable aging summary. We have balance sheets, which is statement of changes in financial position, statement of financial position. Right? I wish I'm getting it right. I okay. I hope I'm getting it right. So statement of financial position. That's what we refer to as balance sheet up to date in QuickBooks. We have profit and loss. Is profit or loss statement. So be careful. We have business overview, we have audit log, we have this one. You want to know how many people log into QuickBooks, those that have access to it. You want to know how many of them log in and what they did. We have balance sheet comparisons. You're comparing one period with another. Then we have balance sheet details. We have balance sheet summary. We have balance sheet itself. We have the business snapshot. The business snapshot. Some of these things are not active because we are not using the full version of it. So that is it. You can customize any of these informations. Once we start inputting some transactions, you will see that this information will change. Some of these informations will change. You're now seeing figures in places where you're familiar with, even though it's not in QuickBooks here. So you can see you can customize the reports to your taste. You can manage the report to your taste. Once we start putting information, you will see how these things work better. So get paid. Get paid means where you receive payments from your customers. So you can see you only have two tabs. Who are the people paying you? Of course, your customers are the one paying you. So this is where you can track your customers' payment. You can import customers list from here. You can add customers list manually. We are still going to do all that. This is just a navigation section of the video or of the training. So you have your products and services. This is where you add your product and services in QuickBooks. These are the things you do, or these are the things your business does, or product your business sells, or services your business renders. So you can add new products. We are still going to come to that. Then, okay, we also have pay for your subscriptions. Pay your suppliers. I mean, under the pay, you only have the supplier because those are the only people you are paying. You cannot pay any other person apart from employees. So employees have their different section. So you can add suppliers list or import suppliers list. You can add automatically from your Excel document, from any other database you use, or you can add it manually in QuickBooks. So that is it. So we have customer leads. Like we said, leads are still customers. I don't understand the language. Leads are still customer or marketings you have done that brought about the payment. So leads are those places you place an advert and or you place an advert and you want to track how many people actually contacted you from that advert you made. So that is where you're going to connect your business. So we have the MailChimp. So if you are into all this tech, you understand what MailChimp is used for gathering emails. And remember that any of these service you include in QuickBooks, you have to pay for it. Yes, it's not free of charge. You have to pay for it. So for that, I'm gonna leave this one the way it is. Let's go on. So we have the employee section. You already know what employees. Who are employees? Employees are the people that work in an organization or work with you in your business. Those are the people we refer to as employees. So here you can add them manually or you can still import them automatically. We are still going to come to that. Now we have the bookkeeping aspect, which is why you are here, because this is the most important part of the business, because you want to keep records of your transactions, know how much you spend, know how much you gain. So this is where the bookkeeping aspect starts. So we have here, you can automatically automate income and expense tracking. So you can connect a bank or credit card, like I said in our previous section. I said you can connect your bank directly. You can connect your bank directly with QuickBooks, so that whenever you have a debit transaction, QuickBooks will collect that information immediately. The alert is entering your phone. QuickBooks will record that for you as well. If you receive any money, QuickBooks also records that. You won't have to bother yourself about making it about downloading your bank statement and trying to impute the transaction manually. QuickBooks will automatically do it for you. So that is it on that aspect. So if you click on it, you now select your banking institution or financial institution. Here we have the First Bank of Nigeria, we have the United Bank for Africa, we have the Eco Bank Nigeria, we have the Zenith Bank Beta, we have the First Bank Nigeria again, we have the Guaranteed Trust Bank. So these are the top 8 banks available in First Bank Nigeria. Once you select that, you enter your banking details. This one is required to sign in so that it will confirm that you're actually the one doing that. So Let's just leave it for now, but we'll do that some other time. So once you connect your bank's details, so that's it. This one is banking section. We also have the all sales sections, because under the bookkeeping we are under transaction. Here you create, send and track invoices. This is where you are going to see all your sales invoices, and this is where you're going to see all your expenses as well. This is where you're going to see all your expenses. So that is just the three tabs we have under transaction. You can connect your bank again or add manually. So we have the rows which we have already treated. The row which you have already treated, go to rows. This is where you add rules. Create a rule. What do you want to call this row? So you can select that, set it up. You can set the rows up. This row means the categories you want to create. Okay, we'll come to that later. So also have the chart of account. Now this chart of account is very very important. It's the account that houses all your activities in QuickBooks. This is where you're going to see all the accounts you have available in QuickBooks. So these are the accounts. Remember we turned on the account numbers earlier on when we are under our settings. So you can see that these are the accounts automatically created by QuickBooks based on the industry we selected. QuickBooks automatically uh, import all these accounts for us. So at any point in time, if you don't want any of this account, you can simply delete it. You can simply delete it. We are still going to come to that later. So we also have this one is for expert reconciliation. This one is for bank reconciliation. Bank reconciliation, bank reconciliation is one of the things, and that is why QuickBooks made it easy for us to connect to our bank easily, so that we won't have to bother ourselves reconciling bank records and our books records manually. So that is it. You can see go over to that one. So that's it about bookkeeping. About bookkeeping. In the previous version, we call it in previous version of QuickBooks is called accounting, or it's called accounts. There are some this refers to as accounting. There are some it refers to accounts. So here now they call it bookkeeping. So let's go over to VAT. VAT means value added tax. Some people still call it sales tax. So value added tax. You know that here in Nigeria, our value added tax is 7.5%. Earlier in 2019 or 2018-19, it was 5%, until recently in the new Financial Act of 2020, it was increased to 7.5%. So it's a sales tax charged on consumption goods or services. That means what it means is that they are the sales tax, the burden of sales tax is bared by the final consumer. So if you are the final consumer of that product, you are the one to pay for that service, for that kind of VAT. The manufacturer will pay his own part and transfer and ship that also to you, the final consumer. So you bear the burden of that. So this is where you're going to set up your VAT. I think we have done that in our previous video or in our previous lesson, where we say because QuickBooks was able to identify that we are from Nigeria, it now sets us up, choose a sales tax code for Nigeria. So we can say next accrual, you can set this, okay, start of tax period January, filing frequency monthly, yes, then reporting periods also, then you have your VAT, that's the percentage you charge, and also have the tin here. So that is how to set up VAT information, and this one is just showing us videos on how to do that, so let's just skip it. And this place is for applications used in QuickBooks. So these are the applications used in QuickBooks. Here you can add any application you think is relevant to your business, and believe me, they are very very helpful, but of course you know that they cost money. Like I said, anything you impute, any extra service you require from QuickBooks, you have to pay for it. You have to pay for it. So for a start, I will say let's just stick to what we have at the moment. So that is it on the review for QuickBooks. That is a review we have on this section of the class. So we can see this is our customer. This is our customer. You can add customer from here. This is what we call a shortcut. You can add bills. You can add estimate. You can pay bills. You can add invoice. You can track time. You can receive money. So I'm going to teach you the differences between all these things and how these things work in the next section of the video. Please stick around.